Direwolves are back in real life, so here's 5 Direwolf mods to check out in ARK. First off, we've got the Galvanized Wolf made by HN Studios, a recreation of its original ASE version, built from the ground up, adding a variety much more dangerous and extremely useful to the wolf you know so far in vanilla ARK. As we can see with this one, there's definitely been some cool texture rework been done to it, though some missing features. Looking at these eyes in particular, I do love these blue, almost Japanese Akami looking streaks adorning this type of direwolf. With a wonder what this strange blue ominous glow is meant to be doing with this particular creature, and with a lot of people downloading this one, over 260,000 downloads to date, it seems a lot of you already know what this one's all about. So let's get to it. Hopefully it's simply a knockout. If you want to tame one, you'll need to head to the snow biome. Appearing to be simply a knockout creature, it does do a Nash ability, as we just saw when he bit me there, but making some ominous echo as it passed out there. And most definitely a kibble tame rewards you with your very own Galvanized Wolf, doing its own little wolf howl there. With this one, not taming it too hot on the health, but that melee spicy enough to play with. Good grief on the food. And offering a few different abilities off the bat. First off, a normal standard bite attack, as you know from normal wolves. But this one, of course, doing something tasty. We just saw it do to us. There we go, with inflicting a Nash ability. So you'll come to get the sort of bleed you get from Thylas. By the looks of it, look at that bleed flying down. And that's a nice thing to see. Nice easy bit of bleeds. Something maybe wolves need, which I'm surprised they don't have, to be honest. On top of that, there's a harvest explosion. So we're just going to do that right now, which does deal some damage. Does it? Let's try again. That definitely deals some damage, the harvest explosion. Oh, look at that. It's like doing some like crazy Dragon Ball Z. What's this? It's like doing like a Dragon Ball Z pump up. What the hell is going on here? And in fact, no, that wasn't the harvest explosion. That was a lightning strike. Oh! And there we go. Harvest explosion, which not only deals damage to creatures, apparently this destroys rocks, metal. Oh, there it is. Wow. And reaping resources in return. A great choice for some great harvesting if you want to go harvesting on a wolf. Look at that. I very much enjoy that attack. Wow. I see that we've got a new foe behind us to fight. So there's a lightning strike. Oh, which stuns anything in its path, emitting a giant amount of energy around it that deals a decent amount of damage, but more importantly, deals torpor. So we can use this not only to harvest, but knock out creatures too, if they weren't weak. Let's try this on something that we can knock out. And there's a fair bit of range on that as well. Let's go for this one over here. This 145. There we go. Definitely hurts it a lot in the process, so you need to be mindful of that if you do intend to knock anything out with this. But that's a whopping amount of torpor, with some extended torpor on top. Very fun to play with. Oh, and there we go. We got a mammoth on the run now. Our wolf looking a bit ropey. But a mammoth knocked out by Sparky Wolf. Oh, that's cool. Which I guess explains why this thing is so shiny and blue. Because it calls upon the lightning of the gods. A definitely very cool creature. A very cool direwolf. If you're into your direwolves. Because, you know, they're all the rage right now. And if you're wondering, does 2 have a pack buff so you can breed these and have an army of these to go fight the world with, as well as surprisingly wolf armor as well to slap on these, so you're not going to see any visible armor on these wolves, but you will be giving it some wolf armor. So these are now most definitely a worthy contender to take on mostly anything if you want to. Oh yes, they can wolf howl, buff each other, and get that bleeding. And even the mightiest of foes. Oh, we could just knock this thing out, stun it in place. Holy crap! Oh, yeah, insane. Yeah, knock this thing out. Come here, you bum. We're not done with you yet. Oh, he's got no chance. It's on the run. Oh, no. All right, well, feeding time. Oh, a definite contender. May even be the favourite one of the bunch. I'm going to give this one, do you know what? A good solid 8 dodos out of 10. You lost it on the eyes, and it's still the same model. So this next one is made by Shako Maki, called Shako's Aberrant Direwolf, with, as you'd think by the name suggesting, it is an aberrant variant of the direwolves that you know. Boasting a resistance to radiation damage, sporting of course an aberrant look to it, with a few other tricks up its sleeve that we're going to find out all about. Of course, the map you want to be spawning these on is Aberration if you're playing an Aberration playthrough and what wolves in your Aberration playthrough, but with a few other tricks up its sleeve, I'm kind of curious to see how it performs on other maps too, such as the island. It definitely has a much fluffier look to it. I don't know whether it is the same model. It looks quite similar to the same model, at least the head does anyway. But the attention to detail on the fur and the way the gradients of aberration layer over the creature, that was completely and utterly made up words. Sport this to be most definitely an appealing looking direwolf if you want one of these in your life. So apparently these are much tougher to knock out according to Shako's description. But we have got a super duper long neck rifle that's definitely putting the work in. Yeah, and I do love the colour regions on these, most definitely. They look just a little bit cooler, right? You know, but aberration creatures do look cooler. The eyes seem to be a bit off. It feels like the eyes are kind of painted on. I don't know whether that's intended to the original wolf model or not, but just something looks a little bit off with these eyes. Yeah, the eyes just look a little bit soulless on these things, man. Sharing spawns with any equises or cave wolves, so you want to be looking for those particular spawns if you want to find these out in the wild. You're definitely going to need some chunky tranks if you intend to knock these things out. That was quite a few shots with a almost max non-capped long neck rifle. Most definitely a kibble time once again on 1x rates, giving you just over 20% per kibble feed. And with it, we've got the regular bite, as we saw before. If I didn't mention before with the previous one and this one, the abilities such as the jump that a direwolf has, this one has that too. So what I'm hearing with this one is it has one particular ability up its sleeve that Shako decided to add to the direwolf, and it's what's about to be found down there. A drop. Because this apparently doesn't have full damage, I'm going to test it to see if it doesn't. Not a bean. Not a whiff. A healthy looking direwolf drops from height like a cross between a cat and a wolf, this one. And these really do come in a variety of wonderful colours. Here's a range of the colours you can expect from finding wilds out in the wild, with pink, tan and a sky blue looking variants available here in the ones that we just spawned off the bat without colouring them ourselves. And with it you'll find a pack leader buff once again. And there's that pack buff, granting us an additional pack mate buff. Oh, there we go. Pack of raptors, get busy. Go on, I'll let them do the damage. Ah, yeah. Unleveled. They take no prisoners. And true to nature, being an aberrant variant, they definitely illuminate themselves in the dark, so you won't struggle to find these if you're looking for one. As a result, it's a tough call. The only thing that really lets this down is there's a saddle for this, but in order to get the saddle, you need to download a separate mod that Shako introduced, and honestly, I think that goes against this wolf. I mean, I guess, you know, it does give you the option or not, but if you're going to create a mod for a mod, allow the mods to be in the same mod, right? So, on top of that, the colour scheme, though, is lovely. I've got to grant it a 7 dodos out of 10. Now this one's a bit of a curious one, the Firewolf made by Lee King, that introduces, as the name suggests, a burning variant with unique abilities. But fascinatingly with this one, the mod owner decided that this would replace the spawn of Pyromanes, meaning you need to own the Pyromane in order to tame and ride this Firewolf. So there's going to be some controversial opinions with this one and may actually lower down its rating as a result. But undeniably, it does look very, very cool. Of course, sporting an insane, crazy fire appeal to it. Burning hot laced with fire, and I'm frightened to touch this thing. Set my green hair alight and on fire too, right? But you can see a lot of attention to detail has been put on the facial features, the way the fire moves around the face, the way the flames pull off the feet. I love this, almost like bone-like legs, completely engulfed in fire. With the wonder if there is actually a wolf behind, and is this maybe even tamed exactly like the pyromane, right? With apparently 2 different gender differences, the male has a 2 fire stripe on the body and 2 on the neck, and the female has 2 fire stripes on the front belly and a different tail. I'm a bit worried if this one's going to interact with us like the pyromane does. And now it's all gone smoky in here. Yeah, there we go. Exactly like the pyromane. Try my hardest to extinguish this thing. Right, that's on. But it don't look extinguished to me. Jeez! I gotta say, it's really cool to see this thing move. Somehow, even though it goes everything against the issues with the pyromane, this feels cooler than a pyromane. And you can get some really cool colour variations with these. Here's one sporting a bit of an aqua appeal to it with some fiery tails on it, which I'm guessing means it's a female. Using the Bronto tactic that we discovered before. If you don't know about this tactic, by the way, which you can use to tame a pyromane and you can use to effectively tame this thing as well, it's using a wild giga with some big base like a Bronto, and with that base distracting the giga, you can just bite away in the rear and keep absorbing the fire to easily tame anything, any pyromane, or now your pyro wolf. Not called a pyro wolf, it's a fire wolf. That's long, man. This is why you need to do the giga thing, like to get 100% timing effectiveness. And there we go. Done and locked in. Left control to tame. And there we go, our very own Firewolf, double jumping, flame absorbing. So what else does it do? It does a dash of bite attack on small creatures that does 4 times the damage on small creatures. So, oh, that. Okay, so it does it. So as well as the pyromane controls that you know, it does a dash attack that apparently does a lot more damage on small creatures that have got a drag weight smaller than 200. So, oh my god. It does 1k damage to small creatures, which is pretty insane. That's with this thing unleveled. The double jump feels great to use. And of course that flame breath attack. Oh, something else. Having your own fire breath. Able to inflict an alarming amount of damage. Look at that. Let's see it tick down the damage on the Giga. Getting in close. We are doing a lot. 186 a pop. And if we pump that melee, do we get to do more? $27, 186. Oh, that really does fly down on the health. Look at that. We're dealing with 1k a pop. But that fire breath alone is something else. That deals a whopping amount of damage. A lot of tick damage. Very quickly. Setting a lot of things on fire. Absolutely revolting creature. Yeah. In shoulder pet mode, like the pyromane, can have a flamethrower buff on it. There we go. Your own personal flamethrower. Oh, that's revolting. Having your own personal flamethrower is truly something else. And then in a spot above her, able... Oh my god. And then there we go. And then in a spot above her, able to move away at a moment's notice with the double jump and the boost. Covering some serious distance in quick succession. This is a monster. Cooking food in its inventory as well. And if curious, here's the male and female counterparts. The male on the left, the female on the right. The female adorning some like ribbony looking horns on its head, apparently. With the male notably having something on the back. And yeah, again, these are just balls of fire. There's no actual physical being to them. You can see some work has been put into the different variations. It's cool to see. Oh, at night especially, look fantastic. Look very, very scary to want to wander into at the dead of night. you're definitely going to be running for your life running into these things. Good grief. But notably, there is no pack buff with these variants, but then again, did you ever need it with some flaming golfing lunatics that most definitely are a sight to behold, and set against something like a Karka? Oh, danger. Absolute danger. Weirdly pinned it. It's bizarre. So it turns out that they're not even aggressive to Fire Lions. Karkas, what's going on there? Oh, and look at the bleed damage already. Good grief. Oh, no hope. Oh my god, look at that. Absolutely no hope. Oh, finally it's figured out how to bite back. But it's far too late for that. Oh, there it is. An inevitable end when fighting these dark modes. Which, gotta say, I love them. I think they look really cool. I think some great work has been put into this, and a big well done to Lee King for putting the amount of work they put into these. I'm guessing because of all of the characteristics it's showing, it's producing, is maybe a reason why it has to use some features of the Pyro main to be available to download and play with and tame, which sadly does drop it down a bit to have to pay for a different mod in order to use this mod. I still like it, I still love it, but you'd have gotten a much higher ranking if not. So for that, we're going to give it a 7 dodos out of 10. So this next one's an interesting one. As you'll see, it looks very similar to the direwolves that you know in ARK, in all characteristics, style, shape, fur, and all that jazz. But there's a few standout features with this one. Reborn Direwolf, made by the other Viper, is a mod that will not replace your already tamed direwolves, but will spawn a brand new type of direwolf. And this one's got a few tricks up its sleeve for somebody who wants just a bit of a subtle change to the direwolves that need a bit of a TLC in their life. So apparently knocked out the conventional way, as you'd find with direwolves. You may notice there that no headshot damage was applied because these had their headshot damage reduced to nothing, reset. So they don't take headshot damage because of them being weak in caves and going in head first to caves, right? Once again, tamed with kibble, and you'll get around 15% per feed. Once tamed, you'll find a wolf exactly like the wolves that you know. This one sporting what we got here. Oh, 50 points in melee. This should be a good fighter. But most definitely got most of the stats you know from wolves. What we're going to do with this one is kill some more of these reborn direwolves, because once we've killed the right one... Hey! There we go. We'll offer you a chance of getting a direwolf armor saddle, which is, of course, going to help you out a lot. No, this took me quite a few attempts to kill, quite a few direwolves to kill to get this saddle. You can actually make it, though, at level 40. Not actually visible on the wolf, which is a bit of a shame. I thought we might see the saddle being made there. But, of course, going to offer the wolves protection that they so desperately need if you want to attempt to do cave runs or anything with them, right? Because if running with a few and you got your pack buff on, normally with wolves you have to stand in place to do a howl, but apparently with these wolves you can howl on the move. Oh, which is good. Which always felt like an unnecessary thing. I guess, you know, a wolf standing to howl. But nowadays, a howling wolf on the move definitely feels beneficial. In at least a tamed one. I guess wolves on the move kind of sucks because we definitely use that as an advantage when we're fighting wolves, right? And definitely able to deal a good chunk of damage as a result. Oh, with that pack buff on top and that saddle protecting us, definitely feeling a lot stronger on these wolves. And for somebody who doesn't want something a bit too wild with wolves, this is actually not a bad shout. Wolves, you could call these perhaps wolves with sprinkles, hey? So a tough call to vote. I think the lack of saddle is a definite bit of a shame with these things. The lack of aesthetic of saddle is a bit of a shame with these things. A bit of a touch-up, not too much of a touch-up, but definitely a worthy mod to consider if you want just a bit of a balance to your wolves. But I'm really sorry, Viper, somebody's got to get the low vote, so for this, I'm going to give you a 7 dodos out of 10. It's not terrible. So this one's pretty insane. Is it a wolf? Is it a griffin? No, it's a dire griffin. A blend between the two. Who knew you needed these in your life? Someone did. Lee King did, who's back again with apparently their love of wolves. These seeming to take up wolf spawns and a menacing thing to encounter in the skies. Flippin' heck, feels like it's something straight from Lost Colony. A wondrous, honestly, genuinely, a really creative looking creature to wander into, but good grief, this thing is scary. As majestic, as fearsome, I assume the dire griffin wants to be, with some very scary glowy eyes. Love the attention to detail of this thing. Love the blend between griffin and wolf. Actually done a better job than I expected. Just thought they'd just slap a wolf on a griffin's head, but it feels like much more than that. You can definitely see a bit of the wolf in the wings, of course, the wolf tail there. Pretty sure it's the body of a wolf. And whoa, it does a barrel roll. Well, you just got a point for that alone. But this thing not going to be easy to tame. There's a requirement to tame these, which creates kind of a cool adventure for you. You've got to go out and find a certain creature to kill first. Oh my god, to even attempt to tame these things. And that's by killing an Alpha Rex. You'll get yourself, a trike helmet skin. Slap that on your helmet and now you should be worthy to tame it. Simply knocking the thing out, as far as I'm aware. So, oh, definitely a frightening thing to run into. There we go, it's on the run now. Oh, there we go, and it's knocked out. A passive beast. Like, I doubt many people will do this anyway, but if you want to attempt to tame a griffin, one of these wolf griffins, then you need to put your trike helmet skin on any helmet but tech, it turns out. Good to know. That's the grant us one. There it is. An addition that we'll be getting in its normal form very, very soon. Interestingly, the camera's like well zoomed out on this thing. Maybe that was a purposeful intention. But as we can see, there's a few things we can do with this. We can do a bite, which is more of a claw in the air. We can do a courage roar or a grab. Ah, because we're in the air. There we go. Okay. Oh, but the mobility alone, fantastic. It really is. It's worth it just for the mobility. I love griffins. I'm such a fan of them. And this feels to control a bit faster than the griffin, actually. It feels like it moves pretty damn fast, which must mean it has the same griffin attacks, right? Let's find a culprit. There we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And we can see, whilst in the air, we can do a grab, which we can grab wolves with a flying wolf. Which is insane. Who wants an airdropped wolf from a wolf? Which means you can pick players too. Whilst in the air as well, apparently we can do a fear roar. Oh, wow. You can Uti fear roar these things. That's something else. Does that mean if I've got more of these, we can do a pack roar? Okay. And a barrel roll. I gotta see this. I gotta see this barrel roll. Oh my god. That's disgusting. Oh, I love it. I love it. The ability to barrel roll is something that's sorely missed. Obviously, it's gonna can your stamp, so it's something to be mindful of. Its mobility alone is something else. It really is. Able to do that swipe, that griffin swipe midair. You can do some monstrous damage with these things pretty quickly. If having a couple, do a courage roar. We can do a courage roar. You know, we can do a pack roar, which does what? Doesn't seem to apply any effects as far as I can see. But I did just notice, yeah, when landed, we could do a UT courage roar as well. Good grief. This is a Swiss Army of Direwolf / Dire Griffin. I love them. You know what? I do. I love them. These are brilliant. These are very fun. I love that you have to put some work in even to attempt to tame one of them. Maybe a bit too OP for vanilla, but for anyone who wants to use a modded Direwolf. The only thing it doesn't have is a pack buff, which is kind of interesting, even though it does do a pack raw. I don't quite understand that. And the barrel roll, yeah, that's something else as well. You're going to have to focus on pumping that stam. They look so cool. Do you know what? The more I'm playing with these, the more I'm enjoying these. These are amazing. Damn it. Like, I shouldn't complain too much. Like, gone are the days where you can level flyers without having your settings changed. But then again, you know, if you're playing with mods, I guess you can do that. But this right here is up there. This is definitely one of my favorites. I really like this. The fact it can earn speed on the ground, it can fly, it can just, oh, the roar. Not exactly the Direwolf really on the list. Maybe even a bit of a cop-out of saying it's a Direwolf. But it's got, you know, some parts of a Direwolf. It's just a flying one. And being a flying one, well, you know what? It loses 1 point simply for being just a bit too OP. But beyond that, it's a monster. 9 out of 10. I love this thing. And there we go. I'll leave links to all of these mods in the description, folks. Go check them out if you want some Direwolves in your life. So if you want to see more stuff like this, let me know. Until the next one, my name's Raasclark. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, peace out.